Now, back in Israel, not even a pandemic can stand in the way of Tel Aviv Fashion Week. The annual event set to begin next week on March 28, much to the excitement of many. And joining me now with more is Yulia Karra, Senior Content Editor at Ynet English. Thank you so much for being with us. Now, what can we expect next week when Fashion Week returns?
Well, technically, the Fashion Week has returned. This event has been pre-taped a few weeks ago, and it's going to be broadcast on Channel 13 over the Passover holiday. And the main theme of this Fashion Week is sustainability and innovation. It's sponsored by Kornit, a company that specializes in digital textile printing. And the whole Fashion Week the whole Fashion Week this year and everything surrounding it is based on sustainability and shopping smart and smart fashion and smart fabrics, and everything of that nature.
So, what about participation in light of the coronavirus? Did certain people or brands from abroad come? Was there a big online presence? How exactly did it work considering the pandemic?
No brands from abroad. It's strictly Israeli designers, a lot of new designers that no one has ever heard of or seen, giving way to everything blue and white, basically, encouraging people to buy blue and white, encouraging people to buy clothes manufactured in Israel. And once again, it was pre-taped a few weeks ago. Some of the restrictions were still in place back then, so it was conducted based on the coronavirus restrictions. So it's not the usual Fashion Week. It's still coronavirus Fashion Week.
So how has Israeli fashion maybe evolved in light of the coronavirus pandemic that's been ongoing for the last year? I know you mentioned that this year was all about sustainability. Did coronavirus and sustainability maybe mix in any way?
The coronavirus and sustainability, in a way, yes, because a lot of brands, Israeli brands as well, are finally focusing on online retailing. And Israeli brands were lagging behind for a long time compared to their European or American counterparts. They did not have adequate online stores. They did not focus. They did not invest enough. And the pandemic changed that. And they finally invest in technology to develop their own websites and be independent, and to develop fabrics using Israeli technology as well, using, for example, recycled plastic bottles or tires to make it cheap and sustainable at the same time.
So how else maybe, because I know that Israel first burst onto the world fashion scene decades ago. How has Israeli fashion, or the DNA of Israeli fashion, maybe changed or evolved since then?
We're more aware of who we are as fashion people, if you will. There's no more evening gowns on the runways on Israeli Fashion Week, because everyone knows that's not what Israeli wears. Because of the weather, because of the mentality, the general style of Israeli fashion is very casual. And now I think more than ever people are aware of it, and they know, the designers know what they are and what the fashion is. So I think it's very much focused on clothes that are wearable for an Israeli. And if it's a gown, then it's probably going to be a wedding gown rather than an evening dress.
All right, Yulia Karra, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.